we are organizing the seminar on the Great October Revolution and contribution of Lenin in a special juncture of history. This year, 2024, marks the centenary of the death of Comrade Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov Lenin, better known to the world as Lenin. It has been 107 years of the Great October Revolution, and this year also marks the diamond jubilee of the communist movement in Nepal. Let me share a few words in honor of Comrade Lenin. For the communists around the world, he is still the greatest revolutionary who ever lived. We know Lenin was born on April 22, 1870 in Simbirsk, Russia. That day has been historical for all of us. And even the Nepal Communist Party was born on that particular day, 22nd April 1949. After successfully completing the Great October Revolution in 1917 and making great contributions to the revolutionary movement of the world, we lost Comrade Lenin on 21st January 1924. In 2024, after 100 years, we are here to cherish the great legacy of Comrade Lenin because of his contributions to revolutionary theory and practice. Comrade Lenin was the founder of, later on, the Russian Communist Party Bolshevik and the leader of the Bolshevik Revolution 1917. He was the architect, builder, and the first head 1917 to 24 of the Soviet state. He also founded the Comintern, Communist International. He founded Leninism, the doctrine, the experiment of Marxism, the first successful practice. That is why Marxism-Leninism has become the communist worldview. Most people talk about Lenin's contributions for the development of Marxist theory and the establishment of the Soviet Union. But for me, his legacy is wide and he went beyond this. His revolutionary leadership, his tactics and strategies and fight against imperialism are also central lessons for all of us. He both criticized the reformist tendency in the revolution as well as criticized authoritarian tendencies. He was the one who introduced the life and contribution of Karl Marx. Karl Marx, a brief biographical sketch with an exposition of Marxism, and presented the complex ideas of Marxism in a simple and concise way. The three sources and three component parts of Marxism in this book. I think revolutionaries all over the world must have read most of his publications, including What is to be Done, One Step Forward, Two Steps Back, Imperialism, the highest stage of capitalism, not to mention all those dozens of outstanding articles and volumes. Dear comrades, Lenin was the leader of the Bolshevik Party during the October Revolution of 1917. Without revolutionary theory and without Lenin's leadership, success of October Revolution was not possible. The world communist movement still lives with the legacy of October Revolution. Comrade Lenin has shown that, yes, social revolution is possible even in one country. Even after 100 years of demise of Comrade Lenin, the relevancy of theory of organization, his theory of imperialism, still guides us to advance our class struggle. What Lenin has done after the October Revolution, we have to remember that he has implemented socialist policies such as nationalizing key industries, redistributing land to peasants, and centralizing economic planning. Lenin was true internationalist. The October Revolution inspired socialist movements, but Lenin himself took initiation for the revolution around the world. His ideas were influential in the establishment of communist parties around the world. Lenin established the Communist International.
In every country, in every capitalist country, the economic basis of capitalist production relation was established, and on the basis of that capitalist production relation, the new superstructure was developed, and that was the multi-party democracy. The multi-party democracy was the superstructure of capitalism everywhere. Particularly this developed in Europe, expanded in America, and all over the country, all over the world right now, particularly in Asia, Africa, Latin America, etc. Capitalism has been the latest exploitating system that has to be eliminated by socialist revolution in the human history. Comrades, we know three exploitative systems in the world. One was slavery system, another is feudal system, and another is capitalist system. These are the three exploiting systems in the world. The last system we are facing now. If we eliminate capitalism, there would be no exploitative system in the world. So this is the last one. When capitalism developed into international monopoly capitalism, financial monopoly capitalism, then colonialism developed and many monopoly capitalist states began to expand their own colonial empire in different parts of the world. And then began colonial war. Up to the end of 19th century, the whole world was completely divided into different imperial and colonial empire. The cutthroat competition was developing among them. Colonial war was going on in one or other parts of the world. Those colonial war had to be developed into world war. It was inevitable, but nobody knows up to that time. Lenin is the man who exposed this truth, that within capitalism, this competition will inevitably brought the world war. That happened, we have already seen. Those wars were invited developing in the world wars. This truth was exposed by great Lenin for the first time in the human history through the concrete analysis of the developing situation in the world. In another aspect of the scenario in the world, when Marx and Engels published the Communist Manifesto in 1848, alongside with developing bourgeois democratic revolution in different countries, the communist movement also began to expand in Europe particularly. Marx and Engels established first international of revolutionary working class. Through their institution, Marxism is spread in many European countries. The working class of different countries established their vanguard as social democratic parties, labor parties, workers' parties, and communist parties. At that time, particularly the social democratic parties was very popular. In different countries, social democratic parties were established. After Marx's demise, Engels organized the Second International and lead international communist movement in the correct direction. In that period, communist movement spread in more countries in Europe and America. In Russia also, since 1882, Marxism began to spread rapidly despite the autocratic monarchical suppression and exploitation to the working class and broad masses of Russia. Ultimately,